So today I'm going to review my first ever video on this channel. It is with Jim C of Elite Accuracy, and he was the subject of my first video ever on Precision Rifle Network. And I thought I'm going to play that for you guys, and I'm going to pause the video occasionally and just talk about what Jim's saying, but also, you know, probably complain about my videography and audio and all the things. So here.
Hello, my name's Jim C, owner of Elite Accuracy. Today we're going to do a three-part video series on how I shoot off a barricade with Precision Rifle TV.
Okay, so funny enough story, I actually named the channel Precision Rifle TV when we first started this, and I launched it as Precision Rifle TV, and I'd done a bunch of like Googling and checking to make sure I didn't have the name of, you know, taking somebody else's name or anything. Anyway, I launched this very first video, and that same afternoon I get a call or a message through one of the messenger apps from Travis Ashita, and he said, "Hey man, I'm actually already using Precision Rifle TV." And so I was like, yeah man, I got a brand new channel, no big deal, I'll change my name. And so thought about it for about a day or two, and I changed the name to Precision Rifle Network and haven't looked back. Oh, the original intro.
Generally I have three techniques I use when I'm shooting off a wall barricade. One is the free recoil,
Look at that freaking suppressor. It's a long boy.
the other is the wedge, and the third would be the press. Today I'm going to show you the free recoil. The Reeser Precision Solutions shooting bag is aptly named the game changer because when it comes to free recoil, this thing is a must-have in your kit.
The game changer, now from Armageddon Gear, I mean, still developed by Clifton Reeser, and then there was a deal brokered between them and Armageddon Gear, and the game changer is still one of the finest bags on the market. And I still have my very first original game changer from all those years ago, and I use it regularly. Still a great bag.
One thing I see it matches is guys like to hang on to this by the carry strap. I like to hold it like this before a stage starts so I can easily span the barricade with it immediately.
That's actually a really good point. I was ROing this weekend at a match, a Guardian match out in Colorado, and I can't tell you how many people I saw begin my stage carrying their barricade bag by the strap instead of kind of already positioned in the way that they were going to lay it down on the rock or whatever it was. So still great points. Jim, still educating people over here.
From there, it's just a matter of placing your gun on the bag, basically pinching it between the magazine and the bipod.
What he didn't say here is that the gun is placed on the balance point, and of course it's become a much more common issue now is to really understand the balance point of your rifle. You know, you want basically everything you do positionally. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, you want your rifle placed on or very close to its balance point for best results when it comes to precision, at least from shooting off of positional barricades.
Once we have the bag placed on the barricade and the rifle placed on the bag, what I want to do is use a free recoil hold on the rifle using my left hand to brace the gun across the scope tube. My left forearm is actually braced onto the barricade, and that's going to support my body and help my upper body to keep from...
So this is still a very valid technique as far as balancing the rifle on its balance point, bracing your forearm against the barricade for a little bit of stability, pressing slightly down on the top of the scope. That doesn't hurt anything for people who don't know any better. It doesn't hurt anything to put a little bit of weight down on the top of your scope. Times have changed a little bit, and you really don't see anybody stepping off to the side of the rifle like this anymore. Now it's kind of generally accepted wisdom that you still square up behind the rifle and put your shoulder into the gun, and then you can back it out just slightly. More of a modified free recoil is kind of what we say these days. Like, this was a very good, generally accepted technique, and honestly, it hasn't changed. It still works.
Moving back and forth in a windy condition or just my natural wobble. Once I have the gun braced properly with my left arm and forearm, I'm going to rotate my stance to the side of the gun. I don't need to put any shoulder or cheek pressure on the gun. So basically what I'm going to do is acquire the target in the scope, close the bolt on the target, just jiggle the gun a little bit and you'll get it to set on the target. In this case, we're shooting an 8-inch target at 400 yards. I need about a half a mil of wind. And then basically, let the left arm do all the work, come in here and squeeze the trigger.
Obviously you got the impact. This is no different than a drill that we do often when teaching people how to shoot off of tripods, right? And I learned this in a Frank Galley class, but basically the whole point of doing a demonstration with clipping a rifle into a tripod, getting it right on target, accounting for the wind, and then doing nothing except leaning over and squeezing the trigger and having that bullet impact the target downrange, having no human input into the system whatsoever. You make the point of it's the person that screws up the shot, right? And so that's kind of what Jim was after all these years ago. It's like, hey man, if you can take the human out of the system, you're going to get good clean impacts, assuming all your other variables are taken care of.
Reposition the gun on target. We're there. Good trigger squeeze. That's it. That's basically the free recoil. One of the pitfalls of the free recoil is I see a lot of guys want to go back to their old technique where they start to shoulder the gun and they kind of get this kind of goofy little stance like this where they're half shouldering the gun and trying to brace with their left hand. You want to try and avoid that.
And actually you still want to try to avoid that. You know, what we didn't know at the time, at least not me, Jim probably knew this, he's a super accomplished shooter and had been competing at that point for a lot of years, is that anytime you cant your body, you put your shoulder into a gun and then you cant your body off to the side, it does weird things with recoil. Your rifle starts to recoil back at different angles. You come further off of target with respect to being able to spot your impact and your miss by canting your body off to the side. Yeah, and a downside that we know right now, obviously it's years later, with free recoil, it's almost impossible to stay in your scope and spot your impact or your miss. And so now we go with a modified free recoil where you're squared up behind the rifle, you got the tiniest amount of pressure into the rifle, and you're still, you know, looking through your scope so that you can spot that miss or that impact and make a correction. It's just a better method now.
Get that stance rotated around, let the left arm do all the aiming, come in here, and just make a good trigger squeeze. Thanks for watching Precision Rifle TV. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications of new video postings, and also go on eliteaccuracy.com to find more about my company, rifle building, training, and watch us again. We'll be back here with more videos in the future.
Man, it's fun to watch the old stuff. I haven't seen that in a long time. Number one, Jim is still the man. He's forgotten way more than I will ever know about precision rifle shooting, building, training, all the things. Still an excellent competitor, still around, still building rifles. So if you want to reach out to him, please do. It still holds true. Please subscribe. What's more important now than the subscribe is that thumbs up and the comment button. The way the algorithm is built now, it helps us more if you hit that thumbs up button, and even more if you have the time to leave a quick comment or something. That really helps the channels out now more than the subscribe button. So guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more great videos from Precision Rifle Network.